Welcome. Today we're going to be looking at ATN. Now, I purchased all of these with my own money, so this wasn't a sponsored box opening by ATN. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through each of these products. We're going to do an open box, and then later on the channel we'll have individual reviews of all the individual products and talk about how they match up and how they don't. I went with ATN because this X-Sight 4K Pro does multiple things that I thought would actually be useful. One, it's a daytime scope and it's a nighttime scope. It actually comes with an infrared light and you can actually see fairly well with it at nighttime. I was able to actually visit the ATN store in Houston, Texas. I purchased these online because when you purchase online, often you get special packages that come with it. So with this one, when I bought it, they had a sale and you got the ATN X Sound ears for free in purchasing the scope, which I thought was actually good. Now, if you go into the store, they give you the same thing that you would get online. So there's a couple of pros and cons. There's several stores in Texas, and there's one store in Atlanta, Georgia, that we'll probably visit in one of our adventures when we go out there. Now, here's something that they don't advertise that you should probably know about ATN. If you go to one of the stores and you purchase the scope from the store itself specifically, and all the stores are linked, if you go to trade in for a newer model of that scope, they give you a really good deal on it. And that deal, apparently, from what they told me, is not available if you buy the scope online. So we're going to do an open boxing today. We're going to look at the different products. One of the cool things about this scope is the fact that it has one-shot sighting, which is absolutely amazing. And the way that works is you put the scope on your rifle, you line up at like 100 yards, and you fire. Now make sure that rifle is isolated. And when you fire, you look at the center X and figure out where your shot actually landed. Now, without moving the rifle, you adjust the scope. It's all digital, and you bring the line over to where the shot actually hit, set it, and your next shot is dead center on that X, and you can shoot that all day long. The other cool thing about this scope, and the reason why I bought it, is I have different rifles. I have 22 Magnum, 22 long, I have a 308 Winchester Savage Axis 2 XP, and I have a 30-06 Axis Savage Axis XP as well. And what I love about this is I got this quick disconnect mount. So once this is mounted in this, it will connect to the penny rails. And as long as I mark on each rifle where it goes, I can hold digitally each rifle. So when I take it off of one rifle and I move it to the other, I pick up the sighting from that, and the scope's already sighted. And that sighting, one of the things you have to do with the scope is say what type of ammunition you're using, and you put in all the information, and it's just, it's apparently bloody accurate. So we're going to be checking that out when we do the actual review and how well that works. Because going from one scope to another, if you have a really favorite scope and you try to take it from one rifle to the other, you have to manual resight it each time. Well, once I've done it once digitally on here with an SD card inside, it'll hold that information, and I can just take it from one scope to the other, and then if I want to use different animation, I have to resight it in and put that information in. But it all is stored electronically inside the scope. So without further ado, let's start with my my free gift. We're going to do the scope at the end here. The free gift is these ears. Now online, they're like $109. So when we open this, we can see how well it's done. So when we look at this, you can see how it's all inside kind of like a little bag here. And then when we take out the bag, inside we have an audio cable. And we have the instructions. Looks like a pretty decent sound blocking headset. Now, these are like your common headphones. Nothing real special about how they look. They are actually kind of neat looking, honestly. They got a little design on the side here. There's a plastic insert on the head there. They feel pretty tight, so I'm not too sure how well they're going to work for me. Your power and adjustment information is right here, and you have, looks like a power switch right here. Now let's see how comfortable they are. They're actually pretty comfortable. They're not bad at all. It was a free gift. We'll do the batteries and all that stuff. So when I do the actual review of this, we'll go into more details about how to install the batteries and how well they work. The audio cables plug in here, and I think that can go into like your iPod or your cell phone or whatever you want, so you can listen to music while you do it. But that's the headset, the ATN X Sound headset. Now, not a bad little gift. Let's talk about the quick disconnect here, or detach mount. This is for the X-Sight 4K, which is what I have here, and the Thor 4 series. Now, the Thor 4 series is a thermal scope, and when we were at the store, we got to try that out. We also got a shirt and a hat and a little coffee mug, and it was kind of neat visiting the store. The Houston store, everybody there was really, really nice. Nice group of people, and I really appreciated them. So we're going to open up the quick disconnect here. Now there's probably not a whole lot to this. So you have your bubble wrap. You have an Allen wrench for tightening it and your directions. Bubble wrap. Always bubble wrap. So that's the quick disconnect. You mount your scope inside. You have the little levers to help untighten it. And then you have the Allen wrench to tighten it in even more. It's a very simple process, but if you're going to be swapping it from one scope to, from the scope from one rifle to another, this is really going to be useful. And I believe that's for the back of the scope and that's for the front of the scope. Now, already I can see a slight problem with this. On the normal brackets, the bracket that comes with the scope actually has a small little mount on the side so you can mount the light. This doesn't have it. So mounting your light for nighttime use could be slightly challenging if you don't have a side penny rail. But this really should have had a mount with this. So that's one problem I see already with this is for nighttime use, you're going to have to get kind of creative or have somebody with a spotter. So we'll see, but I'll show you what I'm talking about when we open up the scope. You'll see that the scope rings that they have multiple different ones, and one of them has the light mount. One of the things I bought was this extended battery life package. So the battery life on this scope is actually quite long. It's good for a night of shooting. But if you're going to be out there for a really, really long time, you can either bring a battery pack or you can bring this extended battery life package. And I decided to purchase this, and I'll show you what it is. Before we go any further, please do me a solid. Please hit the like and subscribe button before you forget at the end of the video. Help us with the algorithm and help this channel grow. These are all shipped and came to me quickly. The main company is actually here in Florida, in southern Florida. And when I purchased this, it showed up just in a few days. They were really, really prompt. So inside says battery pack is 20,000 milliamp hours, which is quite a while. And this is a low power usage scope. Comes with a Type-C, USB Type-C cable, and a battery case. So I'm going to open this up. So right away when you open up the box, you have a plastic bag with this inside, and this goes around the stock of your rifle. Your cable, so it's a USB and then a C-type angled. Here's your battery, 20,000 milliamp hours. So it's like a battery pack that you would like buy outside. And then your instructions of how to put it on your rifle stock. As you can see from the pictures, it mounts on your rifle stock, and then you connect the cable to your scope. So when we open up this piece here, so it's Velcro connected here. So when you place it on, you can customize it to your individual rifle. So it'll be kind of semi-form fitted and capable of connecting everything. You have a big pocket right here, which I'm believing that's for the battery pack, or maybe not. No, maybe not. Let's see here, let's explore. If you look here, you have loops for your rifle rounds, and it's set on Velcro. Inside is another set of loops. That's kind of cool. And yeah, the battery pack has to go in there. That's the only other place for it. But you have ring loops here, and then Velcro to attach to your rifle. And when we do a full review of this, we'll go over, charging, and we'll go over how it fits on the different rifles and so forth. The battery is pretty hefty. It's a pretty hefty battery. It's not horribly heavy, but it definitely, you can feel that there's actual weight there. And that's your battery pack. And then on the top is the tape, and then you have your charging ports and so forth at the front. And when we take that off, you have a standard small USB, a C, and standard USB normals here. When you click on this, it shows you your life on these, the battery life. So it has 4, and you can see there's only like one little dot left there. I don't know if you can see it. That means this really has to be charged. So we'll be charging that up. So when we do the actual product review, and the charging cable is actually on the side here. Pre-charge this before we actually do the review of this product, and we'll go over the fitting on the rifles, how easy it is to install and so forth. Not a bad looking product, and it also supports extra rounds on your rifle, which is pretty cool. Now this goes where your cheek is. So the only concern I have really is, am I going to be dealing with a zipper on my cheek or this part right here? And this is kind of a soft leather simulated on the side. So we'll see during the review just how well that's going to work. This is the Ballistic laser and I bought the 1500 one. Now what this does is it actually mounts directly on this part of the scope, and then it communicates directly with the scope via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. I don't remember which one, but we'll figure it out when we open it. What's neat about that is it gives you an accurate range directly to the target. Now with all the bullet information and the range information and so forth, once you press the button, when you see the crosshairs, it puts a dot where you need to aim. That simple. And you just bring the dot where you need to go. So if it's here and the dot's over here, you adjust and you nail the target. All right, let's look at this. The range is from 5 to 1500 yards. That's pretty good. This is waterproof. Pairs with the X-Sight 2 HD series, X-Sight 4K series, which is what ours is. It has 12 hours of continuous use, this scope, or this rangefinder has. And it has a 3-volt battery built in, and you have to charge it. Okay, so right away, we have the user's manual. Some information from the company. Now I bought a 3-year warranty with everything, so we're set. Now, here's our battery. And which is nice is they have the battery wrapped in plastic. So they're not lenses, they're adapters. And here's our laser rangefinder. Oh, and it also came with some O-rings and Allen wrenches. So inside is this plastic piece here. There we go. So there's all kinds of, this is the mounting hardware to attach it. And then you have your lenses and so forth in here. Very neat because, you know, your on-off switch is here. But that is, oh, so right here, that connects to the scope, and then everything else is built right inside here. Yeah. And then I went with this camouflage pattern, and I have the scope in the same pattern. But that's a really, really interesting thing. So I'm going to have instant range finding up to 1500 yards. We will be testing this. So our last product here is the primary scope itself. This is actually pretty heavy. I won't lie to you. Open the box by pulling this part out, and then this part opens up, and the box opens up like this. So when you look at this, firmware updates, problems with the AT product, if you have any issues, phone numbers, calls, how to align the IR beam, everything that you need to know is kind of right here at the top of your box. Comes with a nice neoprene waterproofing scope bag. Now there's something in it, and we'll look at that in a minute. And then here is the scope itself. Well packaged, very well protected. And then when you feel this, it feels really, really strong. I'm not horribly worried about damaging this. Here's the infrared light that I was talking about that this comes with. So this piece here has the eyepiece, and it also has the sunshade built into it. And then the laser thing mounts directly to this part right here. This is the infrared light, which connects to the paint rail, and then it has its own Allen wrenches to attach. But that scope just looks really nice. So when we open up, these are the ring brackets. Now this bracket here attaches to your rails, and then it has two rails on the side to connect the lamp to. So with a quick disconnect, how am I going to do that? That could be an issue. It could be an issue. We'll get creative, but we'll check that out. We'll check that out. So when we look at the scope here, wow, it's strong. It's really strong. I do not anticipate any problems with this. This is a 5x20K. It has your charging ports and your auxiliary ports here. Now these are waterproofing sections, so when you put these together, it'll waterproof this section to a degree. Don't push it, but obviously it will keep the USB plugs in here fairly dry. You have the adjuster right here, and then here's your scope mount. This is really, really nice. I don't anticipate any problems with this, but those rings are going to connect like this around this and then mount to your rifle. Yeah, I'm just the only concern I have with this, and of course here's your instruction manuals and so forth, is how I'm going to mount the light without these. So when we get to the video of actually setting this up and testing it out at the range, and then moving from one rifle to the other, that will be an upcoming video, so kind of watch out for that. I'll review each product during that video, and I'll talk to you about how well this worked, and moving from one rifle to the other, and any caveats I run into dealing with that. And we'll talk about the ears. We'll test the ears out, and the stock battery and all of this. We'll go through all this, and we'll talk about how I'm going to have to solve the problem, because this is normally mounted on the side of the scope like this. It would be on this side or whatever, and then this infrared thing is for night shooting. So like if you're doing any type of night spotting and shooting, you're going to need that light. Now, other videos have stated that this light is not sufficient, and that you really have to look at getting another one. So I've looked at other ones. Now, when I do the reviews, any links to other products that I recommend to complete this package, like other lights or other batteries or anything else, all those links will be in there. Knowing that this is what I wanted before, I really, really think that this is going to be a great product. At the store, they let us play with the different scopes. They had all the scopes out there and the thermal scopes and so forth. And it was really, really cool. This does color, so the thermal gives you either black and white or a color, and it's either black hot or white hot on the thermals, or a color gradient things. The night vision is kind of neat, but one of the things I really, really liked about the scope, being that I'm going to be filming for the channel here, is that when I fire, it'll do it automatically starts the video if you have it set up that way. So when you pull the trigger, it actually gives you, because it's constantly filming, it will take a little bit before you pull the trigger and a little bit after, so you actually get to capture the shot on 4K video. So all of that we're getting excited about. I want to see what's inside here in there. Oh wow, the case has, here's your charging cables right here, and they actually have them stored in the protective case. It's actually pretty nice. Overall, everything was packed really well. Shipping was very, very quick, without any problems. And any questions I had, everybody at the store was really nice. They're very responsive on the website. So far, I'm impressed, but we'll see. Watch for the next video soon. Thank you very much for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe. Remember to hit the bell icon and choose all updates. We'll see you soon.